guys, welcome to LG Overdrive. This is episode 4. This is going to be a recap episode of week 4, and then obviously our week's episode for week 5. I'm joined today with Notorious Matt.
Hey everybody, how you doing?
Also with us, we have Bristol Lion.
What's up, guys?
And last but not least, we have Salty Sailor.
Well, we're not last yet, but a couple more games with you and Net, and we will be last, but not least.
That's a fair statement. I mean, yeah. All right. Good to see you guys. Obviously, we had the hiatus last week with the site going down. How was your last weekend, I guess?
Boring.
We didn't have anything to do, right, on Saturday night?
Felt so empty without this. So it feels like I haven't talked to you guys in forever. It's like...
So, does it feel like an empty net like we have here in Bakersfield?
Whoa.
We only have an empty net for 4 games.
Zing!
Only for 4 games a week. Don't worry.
Yeah, well, it's going to be 3 going forward. And even that's still too little.
Dang.
Not little enough.
It's fucking heartless, Salty.
I mean, at this point in the season, Buck is going to have less games scheduled than what his GAA is right now.
Yeah, practically. That's basically what it is. Oh, wait, speaking of my shitty stats, I know Notorious likes to write goalie articles, and he has to do his article for week 4, Life in the Cage, so why don't you kick us off with that?
I will certainly do that. But before I do that, I just wanted to have a quick little shout-out thank you to Brody. Got my shirt, buddy. Feels good. Looks good. So,
Does it fit?
Don't eat it. It's not edible.
It is not edible. I tried. There's a hole in the back.
Does it fit?
It fits. Yeah. The
That's
Chinese
all that
did a
matters.
great job.
Imagine that. If it fits, it ships.
So we're going to talk about week 4 real quickly. It's going to be abbreviated, obviously. I don't want to waste everybody's time. It's old news. The only people who are going to care are the people I'm about to mention. So get ready, because I'm about to mention you. So week 4, in our studs category, if anyone remembers, the Manitoba Moose week 4 were fucking lights out fantastic. Went 9-0 that week. So their goalies were also a part of that. Whether they're the reason or not, I don't know. I haven't watched any Manitoba Moose games. But Jonas Peterson and Sedin 33, like I said, undefeated on the week. Jonas with 5-0 with a 92.2 save percentage and a .800 goals against average. That's less than a goal a game. It's fucking disgusting.
That's less than a goal I let in per period.
He had 3 shutouts in 5 games. 3 shutouts in 5 games. He shut out Utica, shut out Laval, and Binghamton. So amazing week there. But not to be outdone is his partner Sedin went 4-0, 90 save percent, .960 goals against average, and 1 shutout, shutting out Tucson, whoever those guys are. But yeah, amazing week for those guys. Amazing. Like, I fucking hate both of you. Just for the record, I hate you. Like, literally hate you. Duds for week 4. We have got Fisty Snake. Sorry, Buck, not this week. We're saving you. Fisty Snake. I think that's how he says it.
Feisty.
He went.
Feisty, fisty, something like that.
Yeah.
Feisty.
Okay. Well, he got fisted either way.
Oh, my God.
He went 0-3-1 with what was Belleville, then became he got traded to Rockford and was waived and picked up by Springfield, I think. Someone can check my facts for me. Again, no one's going to care. It's week 4. This is old news. Also, he had a 5.1 goals against average. The Moose, the aforementioned Moose, lit him up for 10 goals in 1 game on 23 shots. As I mentioned, he moved around a little bit that week, so he got his air miles in. Good for him. Congratulations.
Did you say the Moose lit him up for 10 goals?
Manitoba lit him up for 10, yeah.
Holy shit, sounds similar.
And don't forget, Fisty, your name's going on the bag, buddy. Okay? Good for you.
Oh, no.
So we get you inscribed on there right away. And then finally, for week 4, we had our Cockhammer. Cockhammer this week went to from San Antonio, Belarus 64. He went 1-3, had a 53.8 save percentage and a 5.98 goals against average. Not great numbers, but San Antonio is struggling as well. So he gets the cock. He gets the hammer.
I feel good about myself with that
Pete will
save
be all over me
percentage.
if I hit it, so I'm not going to do it. I don't want to deal with PETA. But yeah, that was it for week 4. Like I said, abbreviated. Congratulations to the studs in Manitoba. I'm sure we'll be hearing more about them later.
I feel good about myself. That
So wait.
0.598 save percentage makes my high school grades look good.
Yeah, I feel you there.
So with you talking about Manitoba, do we think that it'll somehow draw fourth line onto our show? Since we're talking positively about his team.
You know what? I think that's what draws him away. That pushes him away. He's afraid of anyone talking about him positively because he's like, oh, no, the bad juju is going to be all over me. Oh, we're going to start losing. And listen, you're fucking doing great. Don't worry about it. Except that you're getting the praise and you're not getting shit on. Trust me, getting shit on is a lot worse. So take the praise, be happy about it, and enjoy it. You guys have earned it again. Evan fucking successful him around. I fucking hate him too, so whatever. Unless he's going to put me on his team. Evan, put me on your team. Just once.
Yeah, that'll never happen.
I know. Yeah, I know. I've got stink all over me. There's no way I'm ever getting on a good team.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So now we're going to send it over to Salty, who has his week 4 shoutouts as well.
Yes, I do. And I apologize. I only have 2 for week 4. Unfortunately, due to some site maintenance and some unforeseen circumstances, I only have 2. My first one for week 4, which currently runs through week 5, goes to J-Rod is Awesome and the Steelers from Grand Rapids. You each have 1 point for having played at least 10 games this season, and combined you have 2. The Young Bucks GAA is higher than the amount of points you have.
There's a theme here, I think.
And my second one for week 4. And speaking of the Young Buck, special shout out for your GAA being 3.75 under 4 for the first time since October 15th when it was 0 before skyrocketing to 11.
I'm going to go on a limb and say Salty and Buck won't be together next season.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say we are going to be together again next season.
And that, again, is all I have for week 4.
All right. So, yeah, with week 4 ending, obviously, we were moving into the weekend. We were getting ready for our show. And then the website seemingly died out of nowhere on Saturday. Friday night, Saturday, and all day Saturday, we were out with the site. And they got it up very late Saturday evening, and it was just a shit show from there. What did you guys think of that, the choice, from your standpoint?
I was like, oh shit. What am I going to do with my life?
Go to school?
Crystal's like, I can't live for LG. I can't run SNP anymore.
SNP. I don't even run an SNP.
I thought it was brutal. Like I mentioned before.
Friday.
There was nothing to do. It was like, yeah, I forgot how much I like being involved with that and how much I like, just talking trade and stuff. We didn't do anything.
You think that you had a rough time, Notorious. Imagine what was going on through Hockeytown Hero's head.
He was probably having a heyday.
I imagine there's a lot of wind whistling through his head. That's what I imagine happens.
That poor guy probably, not poor guy, sorry.
Idiotic guy?
Probably was, losing his shit.
Probably. All those tags that he had bought, and he can't sign any of them up all at once and then get them all banned at the same time. Oh, poor guy. Oh no, that's so sad. Not a poor guy.
Did they ever figure out, or have they got an idea? I don't even know if we can talk about it, but who's responsible for that? Has anyone claimed responsibility? Like, is ISIS on this or something? Like,
I think it was an organization that they said in that post.
It was Dr. Yargage.
Unnamed
owner.
They don't know exactly who it was. They know that they used ransomware to make them have to pay money to get their info back. There's no guarantee that they get the info back.
It was probably Lonzo Ball's dad.
Makes sense.
It could also, they have rumors that it could have been HGH, but we all know HGH lives for too much to crash the site.
It doesn't seem.
Uh,
Doesn't
Why would
seem.
he crash the site if he wants to double tag on the site? So it doesn't make sense to me.
There's also Sitful, who got caught for second tagging in the NHL, who was banned like 6 hours before it went down.
Rip.
Yeah, mega rip.
I don't know, they had to redo his banning because everything from that week got like just randomly disappeared.
With any luck, though, like you have to find some positives in this. It's hard to, because they've put everybody through. Whoever did it, put everybody through a lot of work, right? Like,
Yeah.
he's had to recreate stats and.
Well, just from my standpoint, not to cut you off, I apologize, but like I had to do, once it finally was up, I had to do 6 trades personally, and Buck was messaging me like, "Oh, do you even remember the trades?" Like, luckily for me, I keep a separate document for
Yeah, he
all of
does.
that stuff.
Yeah, but like just the amount of work. So I guess number one, I would say, good work, everybody, like all the managers and all the bogs and everybody else involved who put in all the time and the effort to get it back up and running for everybody. That's number one, commendable. It went pretty smoothly from what I could tell. Like, we didn't have as much to because we didn't really have any wins that we had to input or anything. So that was a nice little treat. the silver lining to that cloud. But it's just brutal. Like, why even do that? It's just it's disgusting.
Yeah, and like you were saying, it's like stat wise, there's 3 games. Like even if we lost them, we were trying to input scores just to get the stats in. Like, luckily, like SLT said, he keeps a document, so we had the scores for all the games that happened last week. We just didn't have some of the stats, obviously, because they were losses. But we also do some stats for games that like run right through with no lagouts. We do the stats while we're in the game, and then we'll take quick screenshots. But the screenshots have been, like, I've noticed with errors on Xbox recently.
Okay.
Well, like for example, we had that Hershey game that went to double overtime. We had the lag out in the first period, which was 2 screenshots, if you think about it. Then the game went to overtime, so we actually played a whole game on the restart, first, second, third period.
Yeah, and then we had to restart the game
then
again.
The game was over, so we had to restart it. So there's 4 more screenshots, and then they ended up winning in the first period. So there's 2 more screenshots.
Yeah. And then the API didn't work because it's 3 different games that started.
Yeah.
They only had 2 covered, not all 3. It's the shit show. Like, the Bogs had to do that one up.
But I am gonna piggyback off Notorious, and I commend the Box too, because they had shit flowing smoothly for the most part. They were pushing trades through left and right, getting everything up to date, bans, schedule, rosters, everything.
It's something as a player you've never managed. It's something you would never know or understand or really appreciate. But this being my first year of management, like seeing all the stuff that goes behind the scenes now for 5 weeks plus, it's just, I had no idea, right? Like, the managers put in a lot of time, and the Bogs, and they don't have to do that, and they do it because they love the league and they want to see how things go, right? So players, you need to ease up a little bit sometimes, I think, and be a little more appreciative of what you have here, because it's a great league. There's a lot of great guys in it. There's a couple of dickheads too, but there's, for the most part, there's a lot of great guys that are running this league. So
it was also nice to see the fact that Soapy and Swiss were super on board and helping out for the first time publicly that we could see all season. Because we normally see Pivot and Zero Crash. They're all over everything.
Yeah.
So
Pivot deserves a medal for that, and so does Zero. Yeah, they were all over the place that night. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, Zero was even in personal chat with me and Buck. Like, the guy probably had a million questions, and I was tagging him for questions I had, and quick answering them. Didn't have to wait. Didn't tell me to hold on. Like,
yeah, he was also on the party with me on Xbox. Questions just like bang, 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 bang.
Those guys definitely knocked it out to get it back on track.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I can only imagine what it was like for, like, I don't know, CHL, who they have 60 teams, and NHL there obviously as well, 31 teams. And it's across every league,
like,
right?
for Chris, to be honest, like, you do all that work with your site, and then all of a sudden a whole week's work's gone.
Yeah, but that's where I think like Zero being a computer programmer came in and was like, you need to have a backup more often than once a week. Like you got to have a backup like every couple hours.
Yeah, I was going to touch on that too. Like, I hope it's a valuable lesson as well to LG to, take that kind of security very seriously. Like, I'm sure they take security seriously, but just having the backups, like, that was a tremendous amount of work. They should hopefully never have to do again, right? So even nightly backups, so at least you only lose one night of games or something, right? So, yeah, it's definitely important. So.
That's a definite twist to Canadians' Remembrance Day, remembering the day that LG went down.
I also want to touch base real quick and also shout out all my fellow managers because, I mean, nobody complained. Nobody was like, oh, we were told not to waive guys. We were trading them player for, bag of pucks, and nobody complained, and it just seemed to go really smooth. So as much as I shout out the Bogs, I want to shout out fellow managers too. Because I know, for instance, I had forgotten a guy I traded for from Colorado, and Horty randomly sent me a trade for pucks for that guy, and I had completely forgotten. So,
and like for the most part, managers were really quick on getting the trades through too, except for like 2 teams. But that's because they either forgot about trades or they just were gone for the weekend and came back and were like, "Oh, what happened?" Moving on, we're going to move into week 5 here. So we don't have much to say. We don't have fourth line here to talk about the big games this week and like the teams that played really well. But we obviously can check out the standings and who's played well and who hasn't played well. And it's for the most part been the same teams all season playing super well. Manitoba, Lehigh Valley, Stockton, San Jose, Rochester, like teams like those guys at the top of their divisions have been on fire all season. You guys have noticed a trend of that as well?
Yeah, there's definitely a have and have not in the AHL this year. This doesn't seem to be as much gray, in my opinion. It seems like there's the mega rich and the mega poor. Yep. And I'm still shaking my cup over here looking for a few extra bits of change. So if anybody feels like throwing us a third line or two, that's more than welcome.
All right. Now I just want to talk about these 2 shitters right now. Maybe 3, but I'm going to be nice to Tucson here because they actually won one of their last games of the week. How about Charlotte and Toronto, 15 and 19 game losing streaks together?
Oof.
Charlotte is now in 15 games. They have 19 points, 7 wins, 34 losses, 5 OT losses. And Toronto, who have 25 points and they're on a 19-game losing streak, they're 10, 29, and 5.
Yeah, that is a long fall. It's going to hurt when you hit the ground, that's for sure. We've had a couple of long stretches of losses as well in Tucson, but we break it up. Like we lose like 10 and then we get a win or something. So we're in the same boat as them, so we could just as easily be alongside them getting mentioned. I'm glad we're not, though. Thanks, Buck. But a little favoritism goes a long way. But yeah, it's been rough for those 2 guys, Charlotte and Toronto for sure. They're having a tough go.
Yeah, well, your stat line says enough, just like my stat line says enough. We don't need to talk about how bad our stat line is.
Exactly. We're not going to talk about that.
No, that's up to Salty to do that.
nobody talks shit about my goalie except for me.
And everybody on Bakersfield. Moving on, we're going to talk about, we're going to send it over back to Notorious. He's going to do his week 5 Life in the Cage.
That's week 5. What an exciting week. So as I had mentioned there in the week 4, if anybody wants to rewind to the video back at the beginning, I was talking about the Manitoba Moose having a great week. Well, wouldn't you know that those fuckers had another great week? 2 weeks in a row. I don't know if I've ever talked about positivity like this 2 weeks in a row. I've had some shitty teams I've talked about twice in a row, but I don't know if I've ever had great games like this 2 weeks in a row. So again, Jonas Peterson, Sedin X33, another fantastic week. Still fucking hate you guys. Jonas went 4-1-0 on the week, so he finally lost a game. That poor fucker lost a game now, so he's 9-1 in his last 10 games. Oh, poor guy, eh? He was 87.1 save percent, a .800 goals against. I got nothing to say about that, and 4 shutouts. 4.
I just want to
Last
point
game.
out. Can I just point out that Jonas has more wins in the last has the same amount of wins in the last 2 weeks that Tucson has in the season.
I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. So yeah, another great week for him. And then Sedin X33 went 3-1-0. Again, he lost again. Poor guy. Feel horrible for him. I'll say a prayer. I won't. 89.2 save percent and a .970 goals against average. 1 shutout. So it doesn't matter who they put in net at this point. Like I said before, I don't know if they are just really good goalies. If Evan keeps digging these guys up I've never heard of before and they become great goalies, or if it's just the system in front of them. I would like to find out again, Evan. I'd like to see the system. But another great week. My studs this week, week 5, second time in a row. Jonas Peterson and Sedin X33. It's probably an answer for that though too. I assume it's again. Evan's been sharing the steroids. In the dud category for week 5, we had the Charlotte Checkers Dooman. Dooman was not very refreshing this week. Went 0-3 with a 56.4 save percentage and an 8.5 goals against average. I didn't look into it, but I think he had 2 losses, and I think one of them was a forfeit loss. Anyone wants to confirm that? I don't know.
I believe they had a couple forfeits that week or past week.
Okay, it looks like he was in for one of them, so one of those losses was that. But still, it's pretty bad. Just as a note, Charlotte has given up the most goals in the entire AHL at 210, and has the worst shot differential in the league as well at negative 229. So that's right behind them is Tucson. So I ain't got much to say. We're there at what are we at? I think we're at 210 or something like that. So I'm gonna just a quick little example here, a little thing I'd like to point out. This is for all the guys in Charlotte and Tucson. This is a net. Okay, this is the goalie net. This is where the puck goes. Shoot the puck at the net. Okay.
Why is your puck a Rangers puck?
That's for Dudley. Hey, Dudley, look at that. Rangers for you, buddy. Oh, okay.
I'd just like to point out that your head in that net was more protection than what Buck gives us.
It's just the roast of Buck tonight. I like it. I'm not complaining.
Pretty salty for the last 2 weeks.
Salty, you want to talk about Buck every time? That's fine. Just keep my mouth out of your. Keep my name out of your.
As I said. Go ahead.
I'd like to point out that Tucson has allowed less goals than Bakersfield this season.
Again, I don't shoot the puck.
No, but you've allowed less goals than we have.
Oh, have I?
Yeah, by 3.
Well,
damn, boss.
Like I said, nobody talks shit about my goalie except for me. Because let's be honest, even Buck can't stop that.
Hey, just while we're talking about Tucson, hey Turtle,
you just go all day.
Have a great season. Keep it up, buddy. And last but not least, on the week 5 Life in the Cage, we've got this week's Cockhammer. Cockhammer this year is going to go to some we've already kind of talked about a little bit during the shitters of the week. That's the Toronto Marlies Mastodon 31. Mastodon 31 went 0-4 this week, had a 54.4 save percent. So, hey, he's give or take, he's going to save one, maybe not. And then a 7.75 goals against average. Now, if you think of the stats I gave you for Dooman and the stats I gave you for Mastodon, you're saying, hey, Darren, Notorious, why is Dooman not the Cockhammer and Mastodon is? Well, let me tell you why. Because he got worse as the week went on. Okay? First game of the week, he let in 2 goals to Springfield. Second game, he let in 4 to Rochester. Third game, he jumped to 9 against Belleville.
We went in 16 against
and then to cap it off, 16 against Utica.
Yeah.
So, if you're doing the math with me, that's doubling every time. That's 2, 4, 9, 16. I can't wait till next week. I'm telling you right now, week 6, get on your laptop, get on your PC, get on your mobile, get those streams, everybody. You got to watch the Toronto Marlies, okay? Some shit is going to go down. It could be a 32-goal game. I'm not even kidding you. 32,
Like,
34, it could be 37 goals. I don't know. But tune in. We're going to break the internet with this one. Okay?
The guy gave up more goals in one game than he did his first 3 games combined.
I know. It's impressive. That's why he's getting the cock hammer. That's why he's getting the hammer.
You know what, though? Let me just touch base on that. And I understand your award, and he gave up 16 goals. I saw a lot of people in the chat box giving him shit for, like, I'd have retired if I gave up more than 10. I'm going to give the guy props because he took the ass whooping and did not quit.
For sure. You know what? And I'm no one to talk because I have have given up 16 goals in a game. I did it in the NHL, mind you, against a team that was out of the playoffs. Like, our team was out of the playoffs and a team that was playing for the playoffs. And my whole team went enforcer. I'm sure I've told the story before, and we lost 16-3. It was brutal. I never want to do it again. And even this week, I gave up 11 in the NHL. So let's not send Notorious to the NHL anymore because that's just a mistake. It's bad for everybody.
The major reason for the goalie not quitting is he had Brody scoring on him all game long.
But you know what? Props to him because that's a real gut check thing. Right? The guy's got massive balls to stay in there and just keep taking his beating. So good for him. And hey, just jokes here. It's just jokes, Mastodon. I'm not really, Well, I am.
Yeah, this guy.
But it's just for fun. It's just for fun. So don't get up too upset.
Mastodon, I'm speaking to you directly. There is a bright side to this. You gave up 16 goals while being in the net. My goalie has given up 10 plus twice while being out of the net.
I can confirm that Salty has left parties because I have gotten out of my net.
I also can confirm both of those games I have not been in. Rest in peace. Bless my plus minus.
And that's it for week 5 on the Life in the Cage.
All right, now we get to hear from somebody that we didn't get to hear from for week 4, and we're going to go over to Risto for AIDS with Risto.
Yeah, welcome back to AIDS. With
All right,
Risto. We're ready to go. I'm using props like Notorious here. This week, we got 4. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. 4 AIDS with Risto this week. Starting it off with the big one. The LG Hackers.
Yeah.
So we had the Lizard Squad come up on us. They went with Microsoft first. That was too easy. So they came over to LG and tried to take the boys down. But Trish said, fuck no. There you go. Next, we're going on to Horty.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
So I don't know the full story on this one. And to be honest, I don't care. But even if it's something bad, I do feel bad for saying that. But if it's just because he quit because his NHL team was trading people, then that's pretty stupid.
Hey, Horty, thanks for JJ.
Never had it happen to me, actually. But it probably does suck. R.I.P. Pierre Talent and Savvy. Rochester, baby. Next, we're going to Stockton. That's right. This guy named like Grandpa Puff or whatever was in the shout box talking mad shit to Huddy and the boys. And he's stroking the cock hammer. Let's be honest here, Notorious. You got the props.
Is he trying to get into it? Does he want the cock hammer? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, he wants it.
He's trying to.
You can get. It's not just a stat-based thing. You can get the cock hammer for being a literal cock. So, maybe.
I think he wins it.
All right. Well, let's talk after the show.
All right. And then my last days with Risto for the week, I wasn't a part of, sadly, rip me, the Toronto Utica game that I'm going to have to talk about. Why not talk about a 16-0 game? That's pretty damn AIDS, not going to lie. I don't think I've ever been a part of a game with 16 goals scored on me other than in regular club like Div fucking 10 and shit. But rip every Toronto player in that game, including Blue Line King. I think that's his name. Rip
I think he got traded literally after that game was over, too.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
When
Mackie
I saw it,
11 on him, right? 11 points.
he put up 12.
No, that's rough. Yeah, I'd probably want to be traded too after that. It's okay.
I messaged Mackie like as soon as I saw it yesterday morning, and I messaged him on Discord. And it was just like, "Thank you," and he was like, question mark. And I said, a lot of people gave us shit for an 11-1 opening night loss, and we now no longer have the most embarrassing loss of the season. Because at least we scored.
There's no rope in that house, is there? There's no rope there, is there?
In Buck's house?
Yeah, like Buck's not going to go hang himself after this, is he?
I don't blame Buck for that 11-1 loss because we had the
rope.
non-mentionable troll in that game. So
You gotta say his name. You can't not say his name now.
well, he's teeter-tottering, seesawing back and forth between Pittsburgh and Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah.
Death Star?
No, Gerby.
Good
Close.
points.
Gerby the
Good
goat.
points.
Oh, I should have known that. Duh.
AIDS with Risto.
Sure.
So, is that it there, Risto? No more?
Yeah, I said all four. I was pretty AIDS.
All right, now we're going to send it over to Salty for his week 5 shoutouts. Please don't have me in those ones.
No, you survive week 5.
That's a shocker. Is it because I had to play 2 games with you? You got your shit talking out?
And we lost, so therefore you don't get to play with me ever again. Actually, I do have a special shout out for you for week 5. Now that I recall it, stay in your goddamn net.
Oh,
That's all I'm gonna say about that. So, week 5 shout outs. Speaking of Horty, first one goes to you, buddy. We've all been there. That's a poor excuse to quit. Oh, however, I did it myself in season 23, so I understand it. Nonetheless, you make my list. Number 2 goes to
enjoy PSN.
Number 2 goes to Syracuse as a whole. They got a lot of shit from me last season. However, this one goes to it's Moj personally for building an above 500 team this year.
What?
It's only by 1 game. I believe when I looked, it was 2019 and 5 maybe. But that one goes to him because he endured a rough season last year with Sakic.
It just interrupted you there, Salty, too. I could be wrong, but wasn't Syracuse like the last team to have management this year?
Yeah.
Yep.
So to come in that late, too, and get it done, good for him.
Yeah. I mean, he's not in a playoff spot right now. The division is wide open. I mean, the top team has 55 points. That would be Risto's boys. So it's not entirely out of the question. So it's good to see him build a competitive team. Good for him. And my last one this week goes to my personal friend, Bradman87.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I'm not going to say anything on the topic. All I'm going to say is for whoever watching right now and whoever does watch, please just go to the CHL forums, find his article, and you will understand everything behind it. And you, my friend, don't even get sea salt. You don't get table salt. You don't get kosher salt. You don't even get pickle salt if it's a real thing. You get all 4 of them wrapped up into one and becomes some mega concoction that, takes you to like Neptune past Uranus. I'm not sure how it works, but that's how it goes.
AIDS. That is AIDS.
Bradman87, the GOAT.
Greatest TC player alive. All right, that's everything.
Disclaimer, this does not count as antagonization.
All right, and that's everything for shout-outs this week.
Remember, shout-outs. It's a good thing.
It could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing, right?
I believe that was the tagline. It could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing.
It's salty shout-outs where they could be salty or they could be sweet.
Oh, fair.
New tagline. I like it.
So it seems that everybody now in our media team has our t-shirts, except for one person. 4th line. Who is the closest living person to Brody?
Yeah, and I live in America and got mine, and so did Dudley.
I got mine
I think-
first, and I believe far as fuck.
I believe Notorious is the furthest away from Brody at like 32 hours. And
So-
finally got his.
I guess the question is, Buck, like with everybody wearing their shirt,
Where's mine?
your shirt.
I completely forgot.
Yeah,
You
we'll have to
forgot.
do-
You forgot a shirt. You forgot you were on the show tonight.
I forgot my LG shirt, yeah. It's like Risto, the week after he got his, he forgot.
I
Just
lost.
remember, when you go to the rink and you're going to play a hockey game, you bring your jersey. Okay, this is your jersey. Wear it proudly.
Hold up, guys. Speaking of quick breaking news here, a trade between the Bakerfield Condors and Rochester Americans just went through. PHJ goes to Rochester. And Braced Robin.
Say
Brace,
what?
Brace Robin was just a technicality to make the trade go through because Edmonton also received a 3rd and a 4th round pick.
So it was more like a 4-for-1 plus a technicality.
I assume that's why you guys had 3 goalies on your roster then.
Technicality.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It was part of
was-
the part of the deal from Laval, sending Johnny Kelly and grocery.
Which apparently Montreal freaked out about because we apparently tripped them, which is beautiful.
I
I don't see it.
I don't see it either
So,
because I messaged Lorenzo and I said you guys are winning this trade hands down because you're getting a top D man, 2 top scorers. We're getting a guy with limited availability, a goalie, and a defenseman that struggled all season, not through his own fault because of the team he was on to start with. But I don't see how we win that trade.
Yeah.
But okay.
I don't know if I'm even out of line here or not, but I'd like to run a little interview right now. Like, seeing I have the the 2 managers here from Bakersfield. So I noticed earlier when I was looking through the stats to work on my article that PHJ appears to be having a pretty good season. Was there anything behind that trade? Is there some things behind the scenes that nobody knows about, or is it just purely to complete other portions?
You could say it's behind the scenes that will stay behind the scenes. That was more something that was spontaneous, kind of in the moment, in my own doing. Buck didn't really have too much feedback on that.
I gave Salty some information and he dealt with it.
Yeah, I took care of it. But even before we got PHJ, we're really content with Killer Beats. Like, good guy. We enjoyed him when we got him from Bridgeport. And to be overall honest, we got a 3rd or 4th round pick and 2 decent TC players that have played in the AHL last season, prior, and this season. So PHJ gave us the most value than what we would have gotten for Killer Beats for sure.
And because Killer Beats makes up for my slack.
Like I
In
said,
the
answers
team
the
chat.
question. Interview over. You guys are off the hotspot.
Do you guys have anything that you would like to add for this week going into week 6? The week before trade deadline.
I think Notorious, you need to have a special edition week 6 Gobbler Award for your life in the cage.
And what pray tell would the Gobbler Award be? Please.
I mean, it's just how it sounds. Whether you have a terrible save percentage or you have a high save percentage, it should go to whoever faced the most amount of shots. And as I say that, I mean, even in his 3 games of work, it's probably going to go to Buck. But
Sadly,
I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
you and
everybody
we can talk
Yeah.
some behind the scenes and come up with some criteria for that.
I got to be honest. I thought you were going to go a completely different direction with that. I thought that was going to be homosexual, completely homosexual.
Like cock gobbler.
That's what I thought we were going with here.
Cock gobbler. You already have the cock hammer, so you can't have the cock gobbler.
Well, after you hammer it, like you pound the meat flat, you may want to gobble it. I don't know.
I thought he was going anywhere somewhere towards American Thanksgiving, but I had no idea.
That's
Like the NFL has the Galloping Gobbler Award or whatever the fuck it's called.
Speaking of which, when is American Thanksgiving?
It
Because
is
the-
this
23rd.
Thursday, the 23rd.
Beautiful, so that's gonna work out. Because the end of week 7, so the 26th, No, the 30th. The 30th, I would say, because that's a Thursday, is when I was planning on doing the All-Stars.
Well, there you go.
There we are.
Something to look forward to, everybody, all viewers.
After the trade deadline is over at the end of week 6, after American Thanksgiving, so that all it really is there's nothing really to worry about except people showing up. We don't have any complaints about, oh, it's going to interfere with this holiday or that holiday.
Yeah.
It took a while to think about it, but I had to double check. Nothing else for week 6, guys? Going into week 6, Risto?
Nothing at all, man. Just ready to play again, I guess.
It looks like, oh, there. I think he's gone.
I'm just gonna
but
point out, yes, to the guys on Tucson that are in it right now. Thanks for sticking by us. We're still trying. We're gonna dig our way out of this basement here.
get to the double digits. Get to the double digits. That's all I can say is hopefully you guys get to your double digit column soon.
We're definitely getting double digits.
There we go. Without further ado, guys, thanks for listening. The recap of week 4 and obviously recap for week 5. This is LG Overdrive. We'll see you guys next week for week 6 and trade deadline, and hopefully we'll have the whole cast to talk about the whole deadline and stuff. Next week. Peace out.